Hello and welcome back to the RaidzBank podcast. My name is Hoyt. I'm joined by the awesome Mr. Heartless. How are you, sir?
Yeah, what's up, Hoyt? Doing well.
Good. And Poplo is not with us on this episode, but rest assured he will be back on the next one, I'm sure. In his place, we do have a special guest at the end of the episode, so make sure you turn around, stay tuned for our chess room bonus segment. This week, it started out looking like we wouldn't have much, so we had a backup idea planned, and then Jagex kind of just kept dropping bombs all week with huge updates and blog posts, so I think this might actually be kind of a beefy one. But first off, I do want to start out with some clan achievements. We kind of have a lot. I'm going to breeze through these. Mr. Sir Big Stew got the Jad Pet on his iron at 8kc and then pulled a stale baguette. It's a big week for Mr. Stew. He just built a new PC, so I'm thinking there's some new PC luck. What do you think, Heartless?
Dude, new PC luck is a real thing. I remember I said when I got my Ellie, it was a brand new PC, basically. A bunch of new parts, but it felt like a new PC. So, yeah, I believe it. Also, Mr. Stew is just one of the luckiest Ironmen I've met in a long time. So that also helps. He's got a blessed seed. So, well done.
I've heard he's been going hard at Yama with nothing, so maybe his karma is turning around, but hopefully he breaks the dry streak.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
If not, he's kind of due. No, good luck, Stu. Up next, we had Wadpinger with a huge week. First off, starting out with the lows, he now has 4 Avernic Treads, 2 pets, 2 Eyes of Ayek, and he still just needs the cloth. He's got 2,700 plus total delves, over 500 deep delves, and he's just grinding. So
that's really unfortunate. I thought he was
thoughts
finished.
And prayers.
Yeah, big time thoughts and prayers. I'm not a decent boss, but not one I'd want to get stuck at. That's for sure.
No, that scares me because I'm going to be going there very soon. But to turn it around, he got the Beaver Pet at 11 mil XP, which usually it's like 26 mil for raid or something. So that's very nice. And 99 farming. So the farming, you said better late than never. So very, very good to see. Congratulations, Wad. Up next, we have a new recruit who joined the Discord, joined the clan, because he's been listening to the podcast, and you should as well. Our in-game clan is RaidsBank with a Z, one word. Join as a guest, ask for an invite, and our Discord link is in the link tree below. But Mr. Slender got 99 fire making and the Phoenix Pet. It looks like he got it right before 99. I really want the Phoenix Pet, so congratulations. I'm very jealous. As an awesome pet to get. Heartless, if you had the Phoenix Pet, which recolor would you use?
None, because I threw out all my fire lighters.
No.
I know, I saved them for a while. I did the 99 fire making thing like Slender did at the beginning of the account and get it done. But didn't pull the pet, so I just ended up chucking all the firelighters because we'll talk later about this, but I've had bank space problems, like serious bank space problems my entire account.
Me too.
And I just refused to, get rid of certain things. But I think those were disposable, and the pages were disposable as well for me, like all of the extra book pages, because that's 24 slots or something, or is it less? I think it's 24 slots. I think it's 4. I think there's 6 books and each of 4. Yeah, so all those extra clue scroll things. I was like, there's no way they're gonna use that the pages will be used for anything except burnt pages in the future, and I don't really care about that, so I just chucked them all.
Yeah, that one's very understandable. Honestly, I should too, but
I mean, those plus the firelighters, almost 30 slots. That's a lot. It's a lot of slots.
Yeah. So big GZ to Mr. Slender. Enjoy your Phoenix Pet. And he's also been looking for some Tab teachers. He's got like 10 KC or something. So if you're listening to this, Slender's in the clan. Take him on a learner. Mr. Karma up next got 99 fishing, and Karma is a big, efficient raider speedrunner. So seeing some skilling out of him is welcome. GZ.
Two ticking all the way, I'm sure. Two ticking.
Yeah. No, that or when raiders skill, it's like the most AFK. So maybe he's just probably at barb fishing with a fishing barrel, if I had to guess.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Maybe he's close to maxing. I don't know.
Now, is barb fishing with a fishing barrel any good? Don't you just fill up the fishing barrel and then you're stuck with your inventory minus 1 slot?
Well, you can do it at chambers and then bank it all.
Oh, so it's a bit more like
strat.
AFK? Okay.
Yeah, very AFK. I still think you should just do carrom bombs, but I don't know. I've heard of people doing it, never done it myself, but it is a strat. I think it evolved from like leagues. People realized, holy shit, there's barb fishing spot at Coxbank. What the hell? So, let us know in the comments if that is a strat you like, and maybe what the XP an hour is. Is it decent? Up next, Mr. Fiber just got his first quiver. Well, I think last week we mentioned it, but this week got Tanal's Ticks of Ralos. Probably trying to charge his quiver, send in some more runs. So, love to see it. Is this something you have yet, Heartless? They're pretty rare.
No, I haven't managed to pull the Tanal's Ticks yet. I've only done 5 or 6 KC.
Okay.
I planned on waiting for a scythe before going for the backpack to make it, or to go for the charged pack to make it a little bit more fun, but I'm getting to the point where I'm almost max, so I'll probably just have to do it with an axe, which is fine, but not as fun.
It's nice now you can just get it passively.
Yeah, I've never run out of charges, and I have PPM'd a ton. You really burn through them at places like Nex, like you really go through the charges. But
nice.
Okay. Doom as well, you go through the charges, but the fact that it charges itself up slowly now, that update has kind of helped a bit. So you don't need quite as many Coliseum runs. It might save you 1 or 2 across the length of an account. So not a massive deal, but yeah, it's cool though that he got it. It's sad it's a kind of useless item. It's really good at Maiden, and it's decent in like super high level, like extreme scale Olms, but that's basically it. So it's a niche use, but still nice to have.
Yeah, I think it's some more financial advice. I feel like it's a good investment.
Yeah, I agree.
It might take a while to pay off, but surely they're gonna look at this rare item from a very difficult PVM and they're gonna buff it. It's just hard to get. Or
they'll add a use case for it somewhere in the game.
Yeah, there'll be a new boss where you have to have this. So.
You can't Warhammer, you can't melee it or something. So yeah.
Yep.
But like you said in the past, they've kind of gone away from defense reduction as a game mechanic. They've really like been against it recently. Or if there is defense reduction, it's capped at like 100 or something like that. So
yeah.
I don't know if they'll go back towards defense reduction. That's the only thing, because it's not exactly exciting, because if you miss your specs, then all of a sudden you're just attacking a boss that was, they assume, meant to be spec down, and then it's just kind of ass because it's so tanky. So I don't know. It's not the best game design, but I'm sure they'll release a use case for the Nullsticks.
Yeah. Instead of that, we should just do a bunch of invocations, right?
Oh God. Yeah, that's right.
So big GZ to Fiber, and I think that mostly covers it for the clan. Sorry if I missed anything big. We'll get you next week, maybe. But Heartless and I were kind of included in some big drops. Heartless, you want to tell everyone what you got and what you've been up to?
I got my 3rd squirrel pet. No, I'm just joking. I decided to take a little break from the rooftops one night, and I went to Doom to just, give it a spin. It had been quite a few weeks, and I pulled a cloth on wave 3. So,
all right,
very nice.
That's awesome. Those gloves are sick.
I had done about 500 delves, so I think I was like getting close to being due an item or getting on right. So, yeah, it's nice to pull something. It's cool to see the animation of the hole. I just clicked on it because it was so early. I wasn't expecting. I was just trying to get a feel for the boss. So fun. I started to get some more consistent wave 8 clears. I think I figured out the double boulders now. So yeah,
Nice.
it'll take time. I'm back to the maxing grind. I realized that sailing's gonna come out very soon, so I want to enjoy the max cape a little bit before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I plan on using those gauntlets a lot. So happy to have them. What about you, Hoyt? What did you nab this week?
We'll get into that real quick in case anyone's maybe not played since the Doom update. Just want to talk about the gauntlets real quick. So the Confliction gauntlets upgrade the Tormented Bracelet. And you need 10,000 demon tears. So what'd you do? Did you just woodcut a bunch AFK to charge it up?
That's only like 600 or 700 per hour, I think. So I just did some more Doom runs to get the tiers. I was pretty close to having 10k. You get like 500 per 350 to 500 per level 8 run. So it's pretty easy. And then if you run out of, you could just do it with like hard food as well. You don't need to, if you're not going to go too deep. So I just did that. I just did 7 or 8s until I had enough tiers. But yeah, they're insane gauntlets, especially with the Eye of Ayak or any one-handed weapon. Like
yeah, so they have a passive effect only for one hand, so you can't use these with shadow. I know most of you guys know, but that one guy who doesn't. One-handed weapons. If you miss an attack, your next magic attack will roll an accuracy check twice. So it's pretty hard to miss in these things.
Yeah, and you can. Dude, there was this. Did you see the full tank Mage Inferno?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so with the release of the gauntlets, if you splash your first freeze, the second one's basically guaranteed as long as you have even slightly positive magic bonus. So you can get slightly positive magic bonus by wearing full tank armor with a shield, plus, an occult, a MA2 arena backpack, like a Kodai, and I don't know, the new boots give bonuses. It's just crazy. You can get a pretty decent magic bonus in insanely tanky gear, and the gauntlets let you catch your second freeze every single time. So there was this guy on YouTube called Reynolds. I can't remember who he is, but he is kind of like, he's a good PVMer. He has a YouTube channel, but his main thing is like making things as easy as possible to get your first KC. Like trying to ignore mechanics and basically cheese your way through, but consistently. So he has these videos on the Coliseum. That's kind of when he got popular. And he was sort of a prophet of the Din's Bulwark, the giant two-handed shield that gives you like 150 range defense. Because then you could just pray mage and pillar hop if you needed to like destack minions instead of flicking them like you're supposed to. So he would just go in with massive range defense gear, and he would just pillar hop whenever he needed. He'd take no damage. So my friend Pump and I called him the disciple of the Dinny Bee. Anyone who follows his videos, yeah. But I tried it. It works out really well. I mean, it's not perfect. Obviously, it's better to learn the content. But if you're just going for one cape, his methods definitely can get the job done. And
that's awesome.
He made a video on Inferno, like full tank Inferno. So basically he was in full tank gear with the gauntlets and a little bit of mage gear. And you're able to freeze the minions off you, and then you barely have to prayer flick. And you don't take, if you do have to, you don't even have to flick at all. You can step under minions if you need to. You can just pray mage the entire time because you're in massive range defense. It's really decent, actually. No Monkey made a video doing it, but he did a pillarless Inferno, and it was pretty much no problems for him. Whenever, a ranger was on him, and a mage, he would just pray mage. It really helped him deal with the blobs. That's kind of what you really want it for. So yeah, you can kind of ignore mechanics. I would still recommend learning Inferno properly, but it's still worth checking out if it's something you just kind of want to get one cape and be done with it. But yeah, the gauntlets make that happen because they're just insane passive on them.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some good use out of them.
Yeah, GZ, that is huge.
Yeah, so what's your big drop
there?
Point?
So I got very lucky. I'm sure some of us remember a few episodes ago the Vedion tragedy, where I lost Ring of the Gods, no big deal. And then while I'm in Edgeville, I get a pop-up for the Voidwaker Blade, and I wasn't able to get there in a minute and recover it. So, Jagex was looking out for me, when you get unlucky, just around the corner, you might get lucky. I got the Voidwaker hilt at like 16% to drop rate. So, completely spooned. I no longer have to do any bear. Just such a grateful spoon because that boss, it is faster than the Voidwaker gem from the spider bosses, but it's just more active, more brain power. You have to run, you have to swap gear to freeze, and if you don't, Callisto or RDO is coming up to swipe you. So, really, really gracious spoon there. So I'm now 2 out of 3, but only 1 out of 3 in my bank. So looking at percentages, I'm halfway to rate on the gem, and then I'm 20% to rate for my next blade. So Voidwaker's actually, I'm having a pretty good time. It's good content. I'm surprised because I've put it off for so many years.
Yeah, the Woolie's a lot of fun, isn't it? You don't really get PK'd as much as you think you will. The interruptions, if you're okay with them, then you just get used to it. And the loot's crazy from the bosses.
And Jagex's bot ban is so good right now. Like, worlds are actually empty. The bots are actually gone. I did my first Rev task while I'm going for the Voidwaker. If I get a Revenant task, I'm doing them. I've never done them before. So I've been doing nights. They are so freaking chill. I'm doing the logout save spot method, and it is just kind of blowing my mind how simple it is because I had always put it in my head to be this very active thing. I'm going to be getting crashed every 7 minutes, and I'm going to have to, be jumping over the wilderness obstacles to try to log out, trick, and all this stuff you see on YouTube. But in reality, dude, it is so chill. It reminds me of just shooting hill giants in a safe spot in 2006 under Varrock or under Edgeville.
Yeah, they're really slow but really chill.
Yeah, and each task is like 160, and it's only 1 in 1,000 on task sculled for the rate at nights. So every 5 tasks, or more than that, every 7 or 8 tasks, or whatever the math is, I'm expected either an avarice or a weapon, and that's exciting.
It's just that it takes you can kill maybe 50 an hour doing that method, maybe 60. It's slow. Yeah. So but, I would still, you got to check out the orcs at some point. I think that's the best.
Okay.
The best method. They're about 3 times as fast even with a rune crossbow.
And that's different from the quads, or is that part of the quads?
No, the quads is the demons and the cyclops.
Okay.
Which is pretty good if you're off task with a crossbow or you just want to tear through a task because you can kill all 4. But the orcs are down in 27 wildy, and there's some lower as well. But you can kill them with a crossbow with 99 range, and then the amulet, not of avarice, but you know what I mean, the salve. You can kill them
I just have
basically on
MSB.
You use a rune crossbow. It's a lot better. And then
crossbow. Okay, I'm thinking CRAW.
No. Crossbow, just a rune crossbow. Yeah, I think I explained it one episode, but yeah, I think it's a lot faster, and you can kill them basically on cooldown. You'll get PK'd a little bit more, but there's a high agility shortcut.
Why a rune crossbow? Is it just more DPS?
It's slightly more DPS at both knights and orcs. It's basically the same at orcs between MSB, but it lets you bring a shield, and it lets you fight back against the PKers, so you won't get smited.
What bolts are we talking here? Just Runite?
You should, Runite's fine. You should have a bunch of enchanted Dragonstone bolts. You probably have them from Hydra.
Yeah.
So I brought those until I ran out. Then you can even make more because you probably have a lot of Dragonstones. It's the only place you'll ever use them. And if not, just rune bolts are totally fine, or Addy bolts, whatever.
Okay, good shout. I didn't know.
But you can pop 55s in rag gear with bolt procs on PKers if they're not paying attention. And if you bring Venge, you can get a few kills, which I did get. Or you can at least scare them enough to take off their smite, and then you can just chill. Not that you're going to lose much, but it helps you run
Nice.
away because if they're eating, they can't damage you. So
Yeah. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. I didn't even good shout on the rune crossbow. I wouldn't even have tested that, so I'll run quick calc and I'll switch to that. I've got quite a few in the bank, and I can just make them now, obviously. So
yeah,
early game irons, the rune crossbow is delicate. Sorry about that, guys.
dude. Speaking of,
Phone is now silenced.
when I was early game, I lost both my rune crossbows during Monkey Madness 2, trying to defeat Gluff.
No.
I died and wiped with them both, and I had to go back to Crazy Arc to get more. It was really bad. There was some I didn't know the longbow method at the time. Someone then explained it to me, but I was doing some step back method, and I kept dying. It was brutal.
I remember cheesing that boss, and you still can, which is I kind of want them to patch that. I feel like because on one hand, I already finished the quest, so everyone else should suffer. But on the other, any quest boss shouldn't be cheese, because it's a core part of the story in the game. It's just kind of a bad look when one of your main Grandmaster quests, the boss, you're just in an entranceway running between two tiles.
I don't know. I think that boss is stupid anyways. So the more cheese, the better.
I wouldn't know. I've never done it the real way. So, but yeah. Well, that's a shame. So, yeah, if you are an early iron, then maybe just take a MSB or something. I don't know.
I think it's a long
longbow. I meant for Revs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't take the wrong
RCB.
Longbow to Revs. Yeah, MSB is fine.
Longbow though, that would be sick. I do think totally different topic. I would love to see him buff longbows to have a place in the game because they're cool items, and there should be maybe you get a bunch of defense XP using it. There just should be some trade off, but give him
a 20 tile range so you can just go nuts with them.
Imagine the free-to-play PvP coming out of the side of the screen.
You get 3 arrows launched at you, and then boom, Gmaul. All hit in the same tick.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. All right. Are there any other achievements or anything you've been up to that we want to touch on?
Nah, nothing.
All right. So, game news. Really, there's a ton going on here, so we'll try to make order out of the chaos. First up, RS3 League's Catalyst has started, and they doubled their player count. I was looking at the charts. They had a peak of 26K, and with Catalyst, they've been around 49K. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned to the end of the episode. We have a little surprise for you. We will be talking about that later, but we're going to move forward to the next Jagex news post, which was about real-world trading. So if you've been listening to the pod the last few weeks, we've been really complaining about a dire situation about botting. And a lot of community members, the YouTube, Reddit, everyone is just up in arms about how ridiculous it's gotten. It's a bad look when we're at our peak in terms of, the golden age or whatever, platinum age of RuneScape. They've cracked down really hard, really swiftly. Honestly, things look amazing now. It kind of makes you think, why did we have to, raise, such an issue for this to happen? But kudos to the team. I think they just kind of had all hands on deck and fixed it, which is exactly what they should have done. But in response to that, they released a new news post saying, in the past, we've always gone for gold sellers. If you bought gold, they didn't exactly look the other way, but they're very light on punishment. Because kind of like the drug trade, they want to go to the next guy up, the higher up, who find the source. But now they're cracking down on the buyers. So if you're little Timmy buying 50 mil a week to go PvP from the black market, you're getting banned. I think I've seen they'll just ban you for 7 days, and they'll say if you do it again, it's permanent. But some people are just straight up getting perma-banned, and GG, no appeal, it's over, you're buying gold, you're cheating. Heartless, what do you think of the crackdown on the buyers versus the sellers?
Yeah, if you're caught with 1 mil of dirty money, you're done. Me for the
Cut their hands off.
the sneezes. Hoyt made me wake up at 7 a.m. to record today.
What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Well,
yeah,
we did have this planned on a weeknight, but you had plans.
He's cracking the whip down on me. Yeah, save me. Poplo got to escape this week.
Right. F in the comments below for Heartless.
Sorry. Jesus, I always get, whenever I get sneezes, I always get 10 in a row. It's never just one. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate part of life. Sorry, your question was, what do I think of the crackdown? I think it's good. I mean, if you're probably not buying gold unless you're buying tons, right? Because bonds.
You'd be surprised, man. The average player.
Again, oh my god. This is how I think of it. You can buy a bond for what, $15?
Yeah.
And you can sell it for about 15 mil.
13.
So in Jagex, you can get gold for about $1 on the mill.
Yep.
Which is, maybe some people buy quite a bit of money doing that way, but it gets pretty expensive pretty quick.
It's very expensive, yeah.
I think you can buy gold from people for 20 cents a mil?
That's what I would think.
17 cents a mil if you buy bulk. So, you can get a bill for, $200, let's say.
5 for 1, yep.
So it's 5 times less, versus a bill from Jagex would be $1,000, which is a lot of money, but maybe someone's like, oh, I'll fork out $200 for a bill, buy myself a T-bow. A little bit of pay to win, but maneuvering. I think, yeah, people that are buying money are probably only buying quite a lot of it. That's my suspicion. Or else you just probably buy bonds from Jagex. It's also, if they crack down on gold buyers and sellers, people are more likely to be like, oh, they're cracking down. I only really want 100 mil. Let's buy bonds and sell them. So it makes Jagex money if you think about it that way too.
Yeah,
it's like legalizing weed where I live.
Yeah.
They never used to crack down on, but that's a little bit different. They just never used to crack down on people who bought weed. They'd crack down on the sellers, but then they're like, wait, let's just legalize it and we just sell it, and then we don't have a problem. Just make money off it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very simplified version of what happened, but that's what it's like up here. I know that we have some listeners in the South, and they said, if you get caught with an ounce of weed, you're done, off to jail.
Yeah, I just moved back to the Midwest from South Carolina, but dude, they're so far behind there. I mean, you can spend time in fucking prison for weed. It is so bad.
But that's not really how you're going to deal with it, is going after buyers. And it's the same in in RuneScape. Are you going to win a lot by going after buyers of gold? I guess you'll probably deter a few people from buying gold. Maybe they'll buy it from you instead. I don't know. I still think the problem is the sellers. That's where you need to focus most of your... Yeah, maybe they can have a policy like this to scare, a scare tactic, like the DARE program up in Canada. I don't know if you had that in the States in school.
Oh, we had it. Colossal failure, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean...
just got kids interested in drugs.
Exactly. Maybe this does the same thing. Maybe it gets people interested in buying gold. Oh shit, you can get a mill for 17 cents? Let's go. And I'll only get a 7-day ban? Nice.
Yeah. I think
unless it's widely, very consistently actionable, I think this is not going to be... I don't think this is quite the right direction. Maybe it'll help them a little bit, but I still think they need to focus all of their efforts on bots, on bot farms, on gold sellers, because that's the real problem in the game. It's not people buying the gold.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think a couple things. So, first off, you mentioned that you think mostly people are buying in large amounts. I would, devil's advocate, say a lot of habits like this, when you think about buying cigarettes, a bad habit, once a week, drop in, $10 or whatever. It adds up over a year into this huge thing, but they're never doing it over a year. It's just enough to maintain their habit. I think a lot of players who are buying gold are doing these small amounts, maybe once a month, once every few months when they run out. I think most people, if you sit down and say, hey, are you really going to spend $350 on black market GP? You could get banned, but more importantly, like, this isn't the way to play the game, which I'll get into later. I think they'd be like, oh yeah, no, I would never do that. But then if you break it up into payments of $60, they'll actually spend more than $350. You know, they'll spend $450 because it's mentally easier. So I want to say that first. Second, this is just, I support them going after the buyers because you're ruining the game for yourself. And I know I don't mean to preach and be on a high horse, but I'm going to. Like, the game will not be fun
But
if you're just buying gold.
you can just buy bonds. Like there is access to buying gold approved
can buy
by
bonds,
Jagex.
yeah.
So what's the difference then? Do you think you're ruining the game for yourself if you buy bonds to get money?
Yeah, I will be transparent. When I played a normal account, I didn't have any friends to give me. Heartless loaned me a nice Dragon Hunter Lance. He barely knew me for some Vorkath kills. But outside of that, I didn't have any friends to like bankroll my start. And your first 10 mil is fucking brutal. You're going to cut U-logs at the GE and sell them for 150K an hour, you know? So I bought a couple bonds. I'm an adult. I had a full-time job. I had an adult money. So I bought some bonds. And it kind of ruined the game for me because now I saw it as this monetary thing. And then every time I was killing Vorkath or Zulrah, I was putting it in my head of how many bonds per hour is this? Or could I go mow my neighbor's yard, make $20 and, you know, make 20 mil an hour? So
yeah, I see what you mean. I think it must change person to person because I also,
certainly,
when I had
some
my
people
main,
don't have that problem.
I bought myself 3 bonds and I mean, they're worth like 8 mil at the time or something, 7 mil. So I had like 20 mil or something when I was done. And it just let me get enough gear to like do stuff and get my skills up like construction. And then I basically started playing the game and I didn't buy any more bonds. So for me, it was like kind of a pass through the real shit part of the game. And at the time, we didn't have any of the fun mid-game content or early game content that we have now. It was an absolute slog to get to the sort of later part of the game. And it was like a method to sort of skip over that. But I didn't buy any more. But I mean, for me, that it worked out perfectly, and I, eventually quit for other reasons, main life. But I don't know. I think this is a tough topic. I think we have 2 different viewpoints on it, though.
Yeah, which is good.
But yeah,
that's why we're co-hosts.
Exactly. Ultimately, they do need to keep pushing, though. I don't want this to just be like there's been some Reddit posts about how 55% of Yama top 1,000 players are bots, and then a few more from different bosses. Like these graphics show up, and everyone's like, "Okay, what the fuck?" There's like 60% bots at all these bosses. Then Solo Mission does that little video where he runs around the world and it's like, "Okay, there's 40% bots in every world. Imagine on free to play." And then Jagex is like, "Okay, our images looks bad now. Let's crack the hell down." But the bots are gonna respond. They're going to respond. They always do. Hoyt, you said before, you're talking about some newspaper. I thought it was going to be like bots have come back even harder than before. They vowed to triple the amount of bots entering free to play. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the bots will come back, but will Jagex continue to put this much effort into killing them? Or will they just do it every once in a while as like a showpiece? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I think one of the last points I'll make, I think the gold sellers are very smart, and I think gold buyers in general are kind of dumb. Sorry for anyone out there, but I think it's easier to go after the kind of dumber people, and the gold sellers, this is their livelihood. These guys, not all criminals are smart, but I'm not calling them criminals, but against the terms of service. But they know how to just remake and get another operation up and running real quick because they've been doing it for 20 years. So I like going for the buyers because then they probably tell their friends like, "Oh, dude, like I lost a whole account and it was 1750 total, and I spent my life on it, bro. Do not do it." So you get kind of the word of mouth and stuff like that, or they just quit the game. And honestly, if you have to buy gold on the black market in order to have fun in this game, it may not be for you, and that's okay. But on the other hand, maybe it makes you reconsider and start out on a fresh account, or maybe an Iron Man or something like that. Sorry to be a shill for irons, but maybe it makes you take a second look in the mirror and evaluate just what you're doing when you get banned, because I think it really does work. I I recently got my first speeding ticket ever after 13 years of driving. He got me good, man. He was sitting, couldn't see him at all, flat open road, no one around me, just cruising on my way to that wedding 2 weekends ago. And it was a slap on the wrist. It was a little monetary fine, no big deal, but it really did make me check myself, and now my eyes are on the speedometer a little bit more, because you don't want to get another one within a few years. So hopefully this is like a speeding ticket. Big slap on the wrist, but if you do it a second time, we're going to get you. So
fair enough.
Any closing thoughts you have, Heartless?
No,
Are you ready to move on?
I think we've covered it.
Cool. After that, few really small things. There's a new shortcut by Frankenstein's Castle. There was the mausoleum. You'd have to push the mausoleum by the castle, run under the experiment cave with the crazy malformed creatures. There's like a horse thing with a girl head. Really classic stuff. Really annoying medium clue step. You can now build a bridge to jump over. It's like a broken bridge, a reinforced bridge. But you do have to run to the other side and build it first, and then run, you have to build both sides, basically. So make sure you go do that, or if you get that step, you bring 12 planks and nails. I just went ahead and did it when I read it out of curiosity, so that one is welcome. Fun fact, there's actually no mausoleum on the island, despite its name being mausoleum. There's just 3 graves. So,
what
game broken.
Well, what's the definition of a mausoleum?
Mausoleums like those big things you walk in, the big stone like buildings with 4 walls and a roof, and I guess people are like kept in like drawers more like in those. But there's a difference. I just saw that in the wiki. Thought I'd share.
High horse Hoyt moment there.
Yeah, the Hoyt horse, eh?
Yeah.
The Fremennik sea boots you get from the diary for the Fremenniks. They have been rebalanced. Now the sea boots 2 you get from the medium diary give 3 teleports, and the hard diary gives 5 teleports instead of 1. So the easy and the elite were not changed, but the medium and hard now scale. I think they all just gave 1 teleport, which was kind of stupid. So very nice. If you have the hard diary, you can now go to Vorkath 5 times a day. So very welcome change. Also unpulled, but I think everything passes these days. Who cares? Shops like Shopscape, while you're on desktop, now have a quantity button for buy or sell 1, 5, 10, or 50 on the bottom right. You used to have to right click buy 5. You can now click on the bottom right 5 and then spam click left. Small change, nice quality of life. Baxtorian Falls up by Barb Fishing. You no longer need a rope. I think there's either a permanent rope there or there's one on the ground or something.
What the hell? Game's gone. We used to have to run all the way back to the bank when we forgot our rope.
Yeah, I don't like unpulled changes. I'll just be blunt. But it's also a dick move to be upset about something like this. But when you do a million of them, the game, that's kind of easy escape. But it's also, is that a fun gameplay mechanic having to go back?
I'm just joking. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too, but when you have 200 of them over a year, It's like,
Quality of life.
it's okay. The Harmony Island herb patch, this is a big one, is now protected. So we went from 3 protected patches to 4.
It's criminal that it wasn't before, because you have to unlock it through a series of quests. I think 3 quests to get there. And then
but Hasidius is like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Also, it's just a patch, and there's an allotment patch, I guess. But my god. Also, no one teleports to, because it's awful to tell. It's the longest run from any telly. It's the worst farming patch by far.
Yeah, I do the Arceus telly to Harmony. It's good, but it's a long run. Dude, the Civitas telly sucks.
What for?
How do people get there? How do you get to the Civitas patch? Because I use my Hunter Cape because...
I use the whistle. Quetzal.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Quetzal
That's
whistle.
a long...
It's not too bad. It's nice that it's a one-click. The Harmony Island I have in my house, so I always tell you to the house first. I just end up doing that one always last. It's the last patch I visit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just
the
skip
troll.
it too, to be honest. Can't be asked.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, the worst part about it is the leprechaun is on the other side of the fence. That's really the worst part. So you have to run all the way around to hit the leprechaun.
Yeah.
I like when he's right next to the patch. That's the dream.
They probably moved the leprechaun during that 2-day update and then reverted it because we freaked out.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Yeah, I always knew the troll patches were protected just because they're like a separate thing. They're like special. I never really realized that Hosidius patch is protected with the hard or elite diary for Corinne.
Yeah, fun fact, you can plant your limpwort roots and compost doesn't affect them, so you don't need to compost them. You can just stick in
every patch or just
Hosidius because it's disease free. So you can stick it in there and it'll guarantee grow. And then it just doesn't, the compost doesn't affect the yield. It does affect if it dies or not, but Hosidius, it never dies. So you just put it in no compost. Save yourself a charge.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. So really welcome change with the Harmony Island. So go get your Mori Elite done. You just need a full barrow set and 91 fishing, or 90. So it's 91. So, welcome to C. Up next, Hunter Trainers now give players a one-time free Hunter kit. I don't know who was asking for this, but...
Farlamore only accounts, probably?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does say Hunter Trainers, but I went to the guy... Oh.
I think they mean the experts in the basement, right? They'll all give you a one-time kit, or one of them will be. Have that dialogue?
Oh, yeah. I went to the Red Chin... The Skill Cape one gave me one.
Oh, okay.
I went to a Hunter vendor, though, a shop, and they didn't, which makes sense because it says trainer. But in case you're like me and you just run to an icon on the map, yeah. And spoilers, they're just for new players. There's nothing special. It's one of each trap.
Look at you doing your due diligence on updates, Hoyt. I love it.
I know. I make you wake up early, but I do put in a little bit of work. Mobile players, this is the last update. Mobile players can now show an icon next to their name. It's in your settings. You can turn it off if you want, but it will always stay hidden in PvP areas like the wilderness or Ferox. I think that's stupid because there's so many mobile PvPers and they want to let you know.
Yeah, I also hate that. I think it's so weird how many different things there are in the wilderness. Like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work.
Yeah, like, release it for the wilderness, and then if people complain, rethink it, but just off the bat, no one asked, and like, well, we won't put it in the wilderness. Like, that would have been the only cool part. Dude, if I get killed by someone with an iPhone next to their name, that's gonna burn. So, and they would like that, and kudos to them. But, whatever. So, if you're a mobile player, check out your settings, and you can turn that on if you want. Let people know why you're not answering real quick. And then before we get to these sailing Slayer creatures and unique drops, there's some community news. I'm a few weeks late on this, but Mr. Hey Jace, who's rank 2, the only person who beat him to 200 mil all was Titan. This guy's
Mr. Lasagna.
Mr. Lasagna himself. So Hey Jace, rank 2. He continued playing, unlike Link's Titan. Big streamer, love his streams. He has been a clue scroll or a collection log hunter. And he's rank 12 EHC. He's basically clue locked. He has 19 pieces of Third Age. 13 of them are unique out of 23. He's also got 104 gilded items. And there's 20 unique. He's got all 20, of course. Anyways, rank 2 for all clue scrolls, as well as rank 2 overall. 60,000 medium clues done. 45,000 hard clues. He is top 10 to 200 mil for 9 out of the 23 skills. He is going to stop playing his normal account and make an iron.
Oh my god.
What do you think, Heartless?
Dude, this guy makes me look like an ultra casual. I've never watched his streams. I know who he is, of course. But he just makes us all look like ultra casuals. I mean, it's just, he just plays
such a good dude.
I'm sure he is. He just plays so much. Like, I know it's his job. It's his life. So it's like his choice, but also it's the high level cloggers. It just doesn't look like fun to me. It just doesn't look like fun. There's
the clue locked is
it just feels like there's no winning. There's no end game. It's just lots and lots of nothing until you hit like a mega rare, or an ultra mega rare item, and then you just go again for 1,000 hours until you hit the next one.
Yeah,
I get
what
pet hunting is like sort of the most extreme like another extreme. It's extreme, but it's not. It's like once you get the pet, you're done. You just move on to the next one. So it's kind of like you're experiencing each boss a lot, but to their maximum. Even that is like quite end game, quite sweaty. It's kind of the point where I'm getting close to, but it's
46 out of 65 pets, which is surprising.
Which shouts to me that he's probably more of a skiller and prefers skilling and maybe not, clicking as much. He just enjoys playing the game. Kind of more wholly than he's not like maybe a PVMer at heart.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's obviously a good player. I'm sure he's done every piece of content, but still.
I'm pretty sure Poplo has more pets than this guy.
Yeah, he does. I think I almost have as many as him. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Did you watch his video where he talks about why?
I did. It showed up on my YouTube. I'd never seen one of his videos before, but he was saying, he doesn't want to ruin his life going for like 200 mil sailing when it comes out. And honestly, dude, I totally feel that. I even expressed that concern about the race to 200 mil is going to be extremely unhealthy for people.
Yeah, when we talked about that, I actually said, I hope it's Hey Jace.
But obviously the guy's taking a look at his... this is his career, I guess, at least for now. So...
He's a different person. He got 200 mil all in like 2018 or 19.
Is he younger than us?
He's maybe a year or two older, maybe. But like same age.
Early 30s or something?
Probably early 30s. Yeah, he's a different man now. He probably got 200 mil all when he was like 26 or something.
Yeah, so he maybe didn't have a job or whatever, so he could just grind RuneScape. I don't know. Anything you do for a really long time, eventually, it just doesn't become fun anymore. So I don't blame him at all. I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. I still can't believe. I think clogging is bad for the game, like high level clogging. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's like a bit of a life ruiner, and
I think it's an
unrealistic thing. It's like, do you remember that episode of South Park where Randy gets hooked on a game where he's like chasing
World of Warcraft?
No, he's chasing I think it's in the World of Warcraft episode, but he's chasing like a magic dragon, and he keeps sticking cocaine into his arm to try and catch it, but he never catches it. That's exactly what clogging feels like to me at a high level. I think clogging to a certain point is fun, but as soon as you get into the clue locked area, I think it's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And you start to get into, sticking heroin into your arms, or in this case, 1,000 hard clues, and you're just never gonna catch get to the final goal.
Real quick before I'm gonna go back to Jace, but have you been watching Basilogist on YouTube with his clue openings?
No, but I know he's also a high level clue guy. I recognize the name. I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not into watching the clogging scene. It's just not my cup of tea.
I am. That's why I'm here. It's peak tism at times.
Peak tism.
But
it's peak.
Basilogist, so he was the first one to green log the boss tab.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So all pets, all drops, just crazy. He's like he's top 5 probably for clogging. Marnie's up there. Regardless, he's maybe top 3. I don't know. He started doing YouTube because he wasn't a content creator. His YouTube videos are disgusting, bro. It's like Limpwort levels of like dedication.
I love Limpwort. So it's hard for me to say that, you know, there's just different types of tism out there. You get focused on different stuff, and fair enough. Fair enough.
He does 80 hours of hards or 80 hours of masters, and then he opens them up every 2 weeks on YouTube, and he will rip open 1,000 or 500 hards with literally no collection logs, no nothing, and then just turn around and do it again the next week. And everyone in the comments, like, you just see like Soup and Settled saying, surely he won't upload another video next week with 1,000 hard clues. And then he does. It's just crazy.
And he's basically just hunting third age?
No, third age and like tuxedo pieces. Yeah.
Okay. So like
or those kits that you want, like the dragon.
Who's rank 1
Dragon
collection
Full
log?
Shield.
You must know.
Marnie.
And
Marni.
He's been spooned some pieces, I assume.
He's very spooned on third age, yeah.
And that's the thing, like you basically
but Jace was honestly up there.
You'd have to get
Jace
spooned.
has
19 pieces, dude. But you'd have to get spooned and not get too many dupes. It's just too many hours to complete. Do you think Basilogist will finish it one day? Is there like a timeline on it?
I mean, in a decade.
It's fucking
problem is stuff gets added. I don't know. I agree though. Going back to Hey Jace, I think just being clue locked in the collection log, but he wasn't clue locked. He had so many pets he could go for. I know still pets are rare, but I think conspiracy theory. I think Hey Jace was looking at reality. He's rank 2. When sailing comes out, right? It's free. It's any man's game.
Mm-hmm.
He could ruin his life and drop to rank 7.
That's
Wouldn't
true.
that suck?
Top 10 people are all going to be ruining their lives and I mean, when we say that, we mean their health. We mean their health. We talked about it's going to take probably 3 months.
3 months, 4 months,
probably between
4.
2 if the XP rates are crazy, 4 if they're a bit slower. Between 2 and 4 months to get 200 mil sailing.
Of not touching grass at
and you're
all.
going to be needing to play like minimum 17 hours a day. You're going to have to be meal prepped. It's impossible to stay healthy, to feel good playing that much RuneScape a day. Look, I'm all for gaming hard, like going on hard on the weekends or, you know, whatever, but I don't know. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've taken a more balanced approach to it. Like you got to do other stuff too. You can't just be all in. And it's just a recipe for disaster, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. That saying has snuck into my real life. I'll say that at work and stuff, and I mean, that is a saying people use.
Yeah, it's an old saying. Right? It's a good saying.
That's where they got the quest from.
100%, 100%.
I always wonder if there's any escapers hear me say that. They're like, wait, I wonder if he plays. But, so yeah, we'll move on from Hey Jace. But
look, I think the man's made a good decision, and I think this is props to him for reflecting upon his life and deciding what's best for him, his future, and his health. And making Iron Man is going to be probably better content for him in the long run. It'll be more fun. And he might get some. Some new viewers as well. So I think he's made a good choice here.
Yeah, I think he took a big risk stepping outside of what he's always done. Like he's been doing this weekly clue scroll opening thing for he said 8 years or something crazy.
Nuts, bro.
So breaking his habits, taking a risk, huge risk for him, but it's already paid off massively. His first YouTube video for his iron, which is called Lone Demon. Demon is like a big thing in his Twitch chat. It's like his mascot. I don't know. All his icons are like demonic themed. But it's popping off. Probably another source of revenue for him, so he can sustain his gameplay. So check him out. The Irons claim another life. But the game is so much different than when he played the first time. I mean, with Varlamore, we've seen a lot of high-level creators stop their super progressed account and start a new one. I mean, I've seen, Rice Cup, Bodhi, Sebe. Bodhi's always starting new accounts. He doesn't count. But a lot of people just want to experience the early game again because it's so different and unique with Varlamore and all the other updates, even just Scurious. So, love what Jagex is doing. Wish Jace nothing but success.
I'll say one final thing on it, especially for content creators, because this is their job. Like, eventually you're gonna reach your goals, but I feel like you and me, we have this. Sure, we have this podcast, but this is like a labor of love. We just enjoy the game of talking about it, so it's just a passion project. Yeah. And our accounts too. We both have full-time jobs. We have families. Like, we're never realistically gonna reach our goals, or if we do, it's gonna be a long time. You know what I mean? So and we just work on them at the own pace that we can do. But for these guys, they will reach their goals eventually. And then what do they do when they get there? The content wheel has to keep going somehow. So
it's those 10-hour grinds go to 100, go to 1,000.
Dude, they gotta get some brighter shores going down on the side.
Yeah.
Or be funny enough to variety stream once a week. But that's hard.
Actually, after 10 months, I finally quit Brighter Shores. I was one of the last survivors, but I canceled my sub.
Dude, we gotta save that for like a chest room one day, because I think that'd be good content. I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to probably what everyone's waiting for, and what we'll hook the listeners in on: sailing Slayer creatures. Now, our viewers are very what's the word? They have a very bad opinion on sailing and a very good opinion on Slayer.
Wait, what?
So this one, I mean, they mix them together.
Sailing pilled? I mean, Slayer pilled? We love Slayer pilled.
I don't think they have a bad opinion on sailing. I do think,
Skeptical.
based on the metrics, people don't want to hear about sailing.
That's fair.
Probably because they're consuming it all day. They're tired of it. I don't know. But this one, this is Slayer. This is just Slayer extensions that happen to be sailing themed.
They're just sailing locked. That's it. Like, they're locked behind sailing locations, but they are all. This is a Slayer update. Don't get it twisted.
And our best performing episodes were Slayer. People love Slayer, man, and that's no surprise. It's everyone's favorite skill, except mine. But 99% of people, it's their favorite skill. It's great content. I'd even argue it's not really a skill.
Hoyt, stop it. You just data-driven Hoyt, and now he's trying to backpedal us. God damn.
Yeah.
The slave driver.
So they released a 7-minute video with No Monkey, and it was all edited by Skritic, who I haven't watched a ton of his content. His YouTube icon's like the frog head, frog mask. Dude's an expert editor. Like, I went to school for editing. This guy's he's got some chops. He's good. So watch their video if you haven't. You can actually get a visual on these mobs. Pretty cool. They let them into a beta world or something with the NPCs. Up first, we have the Griffins. Heartless, let me know if you want to take over any of these.
No, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
I'll run through them. So the Griffins are located on the Great Conch, which is going to be an island. Requires 45 sailing, so very quick. You can get to this probably on day 2, or day 1 if you're playing 12 hours, or maybe there's a quest that boosts you up real quick. Regardless, also requires 51 Slayer. So this is for early game accounts. They have superior variants. I think all of these Slayer mobs today have superior variants, so I think that's awesome. I'm still going for my heart, so I love to see it. And also the gym. But most importantly, they have the only boss we'll talk about today, the Shellbane Griffin. So going back to the mobs, they drop a Horn of Plenty, which looks like the Yama horn, but it's a freaking decapitated head of a griffin. Or it's kind of gruesome, and you like put your mouth on this thing. So kind of unsanitary, but it gives a +4 invisible boost and a 1 in 10 chance to double a catch. So you charge this horn with griffin feathers, and you take it with you when you go hunting. I think the offhand hunter, offhand skilling things are very untapped. So I think this is a cool thing that I had never thought of. So this would be good when you go for chins, or I don't know, are there any other hunting methods where you want more than one?
Just the rumors. It's going to help speed up rumors if you get double catch.
Oh, yeah.
So
good shot.
I think overall this is going to be a really cool item. It's nice design space.
Yeah. So welcome to see, but if you're a PVMer, you won't care too much about this. If you get it, you get it. Cool. They also, just the mobs, will drop. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. The boss, the Shellbane Griffin, is going to drop a Gleaming Rapier, level 65 attack, 5 tick Rapier, which I think is weird. Is the current Rapier 5 tick or 4?
The Grazi from top is 4.
Yeah, it's a freaking Rapier. It should be quick. That's like the whole design.
Yeah, you would think so.
Regardless, it's a 5 tick weapon featuring all 3 attack styles: stab, slash, crush. But the mod said this will be the stab equivalent of the zombie axe. So it's going to sit between the dragon sword and the Zami Hasta. I think this is awesome. I think the zombie axe was a major success, especially with new accounts. Honestly, I thought the zombie axe is kind of OP, and it was unpulled, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I think we talked about this before, but we've been desperate for a specifically an Iron Man or an early game upgrade before the Hasta, because going from nothing to going to Krill it's a little easier now that you have the demon weapons, but Krill is no joke. That boss hits really hard, and you need to be able to have decent gear to kill him to get like an average stab weapon. Hasta is not great, and then from there it's not better. So we've been missing this piece of content for a long time that's going to drop something to sort of flesh out the stab progression. And getting a dragon sword is not realistic on an Iron Man at all. You have to kill worms for it. It's not going to happen. So realistically, you go from nothing to a Hasta. That's your first stab weapon.
Yeah.
And that's not
yeah, the dragon sword may as well not exist. I mean, nobody is getting it. If you're killing worms, you're probably doing something wrong, or you're doing the diary.
It's almost never been used.
Okay.
It used to be usable at like Bossa crystals. It's like the only, if you're on a rebuild, or if you didn't have enough money for a decent stab weapon, it's the only time. But now you don't even need that. So I think this is good. It's going to help you at Perilous Moons. It's going to help you anywhere where I can't even think off the top of my head where all stab is great right now. But it's still going to be a helpful niche.
With the Scobo, I think Zami is kind of a joke with the Lightbearer. Well, it is a joke. Everyone would agree. But before you get the Scobo, before you get the Lightbearer, this will be an awesome weapon that you kind of just pick up on your way while you're, training Slayer. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, stab is also like the least useful of the 3 styles.
Yeah, I was using the Abbey Dagger for a while because I got the 1 in 20k drop from an Abyssal Demon.
Right, but where do you use it, right?
I used it for a while.
Where is stab actively better? It's good at Baba, so the Rapier will be good there.
I think that's about it.
It's good at Perilous Moons at that first boss, the Moon boss, and then it's
Eclipse.
It's good in a bunch of the Chambers of Zarek rooms. So if you don't have a Zami Hasta and you're sort of getting involved in Chambers, you'll be able to use this.
Yeah.
Until you get a Hasta.
This next one is for Poplo especially, but the Shellbang Griffin will have a pet. I don't know if they said what level the Shellbang Griffin. Okay, let's see. 51 Slayer. Yeah, it's hard to tell what level this boss will be.
It's going to be
but
pretty.
He drops the rapier.
It's going to be pretty.
So it's got to be like Scurious.
It's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be a little harder than Scurious.
A little past Scurious.
Past Scurious, but maybe not as hard as Moons.
Okay. Yeah. Or maybe parallel to Moons.
Because you can start killing this before you even have a black mask. So.
Wow.
I don't expect it to be a particular. It might have some cool mechanics, but I don't think you'll need massive gear to get this one done.
Yeah. I think the art team did an excellent job, which I think we'll always say. But the eyes on these mobs, they really nailed it, because when you look at a chicken or a rooster, which, by the way, are some of the closest in DNA to dinosaurs, you see these T-Rex eyes, these dead, empty eyes, where they're just like, there's nothing going on back there but pure, I don't know, anger or something. So these griffins, when you see the NPCs and you see the illustrations, the eyes always stick out to me, because they just nailed that kind of it's kind of weird and unsettling just how dead these things look like. I don't know, I think that's cool. Moving forward, was there anything else on the Shellbang Griffin or the Griffins in general?
No,
you want to touch on?
I think this is a perfect update.
Okay, cool. Up next we have the Aquanites. These things, really unique design. They've got like an anglerfish head with the little light antenna, and then they've got kind of the body of a frog, or I don't know, man. Just take a look for yourself. They're really cool. Let me go back over here. The Aquanites have normal and superior variants. As I said, they're unlocked at 73 sailing, so pretty high requirement. We don't know how long that'll take. A medium requirement on an island called, and there's just a bunch of Y's in this name, I'll call it Ennisdale, or Yenisdale, and they require 86 Slayer. So, I mean, this is way up there, right before Trident. It takes a lot of early games a while to get to 86 Slayer. These tasks will come from Neve and Duradel for a quantity of 30 to 60, or you can extend for about 150 to 200. They drop the Aquanite Tendon, which is used to make the Aquanite Hopper. And the hopper is this little blue thing. It looks really funny. I don't really like how it looks, but it looks like you stole like a foot or a wing of this thing. I guess a tendon. But it will not be best in slot range option, but right before that, it'll provide a 10% chance for crossbows to fire twice. The second bolt has a 67% reduced damage accuracy, and it can proc enchanted bolts, but you can never proc both on the same shot. So if your first one hits, your second one won't. If your first one misses, you might hit it with your second one, but again, it has a 67% chance of reduced for hitting the proc. So let's see here. It will also have 1 range strength and 12 range accuracy. I think this is cool. I'll definitely use it because I still don't have a God D'hide shield, and I don't have a Twisted Buckler. I don't have an Odium Ward. I wonder if it'll be better than Odium Worm.
It should be, because in theory, this is giving you like 6.7% more bolt procs, right? Which is probably why you'd want to use it, right? So you get a pretty decent chunk more ruby specs per kill. Especially at things that are extremely high health, this is going to be great. So Leviathan, it's probably going to be good at. If you don't have a buckler. I'm not sure how the math works against the buckler. They're saying it's worse, so I'd believe them. But this is like slightly convoluted because you have a 10% chance. Then, if the first one procs, there's quite a bit of math to do involved with this one that I can't currently do on the napkin. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And yeah, might be great
really
at next where
excited.
you really want bolt procs all the time. Like it might even be better than Twisted Buckler. Curious about that.
Yeah, I always hesitate to trust if it'll be better or worse based on what Jagex says, but I'll give them props. I feel like they're mostly correct on these things, don't you think?
Yeah, for the most part. But I expect this to see a lot of use. This is going to be a really good item.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I was super wrong on that item we talked about a few weeks ago, the one that gives you like negative defense and a bunch of like little offense bonuses, the Antler Guard.
Oh yeah, what about it?
Dude, I see everyone using it. I've been like training up my other account on the side at the crab. Everyone who's low level is using an Antler Guard because it has almost no requirements except 50 prayer. So you can, and it's not as expensive as a ward, so you can just kind of get stuck in. So tons of people are using it all over the place. And it's only about 3 mil, so it's a great little item.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
cool.
basically dead content outside of pures, but no, a lot of mains using it like with their crossbows at crab. So yeah, it's nice.
Nice.
But back to the tendon, I think this is a lovely little piece of kit to add. I think it's going to be quite strong, and I think it might even surpass the buckler in certain locations where bolt procs are like extra important.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like I expect if you're doing range next only, this might be better. I don't know how. I mean, you do lose 9 range strength, which is a lot. So we'll have to factor into the calcs. I'm curious to see what the calcs say when it comes out. I'm sure it'll be tight in some locations.
Yeah.
And once again,
I think this is sweet, and I love the double effect like they did with the Twin Flame staff. I think that's a cool reward space, is like shooting double of anything's badass. Double hit splat.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad both can't proc. If both bolts could proc, we would have had a problem, because then you would have been taking the tendon to places like Leviathan and resetting until you get a double proc to go for like speed times. And I think that's problematic. So I think this is a smart move that they did.
Yeah, I'll never forget watching Mr. James H, who listened to all the episodes. Shout out. I'll never forget watching him do the Leviathan speedrunning when it came out. He was the first one I ever watched where he was just resetting like literally all night. I was like, "What are you doing, James?" And then he explained like, "Oh, okay, well, I need the natural ruby," and then, that really opened my eyes to the speedrunning meta. I know not all bosses are like that, but let's just say too many are like that. So I think the Aquanites are really cool, very unique. What kind of confused me, they mentioned in the video and maybe in the notes that they said like Slayers recommend cutting off their antenna with the light first. So I'm wondering if like we're gonna need some Slayer item to cut that off, like each kill. I don't know.
Some kind of mechanic here, and they mentioned in the superiors too.
It could just be lore.
It
could be nothing.
I think it's going to be a mechanic because they also mentioned the superior.
Okay. Yeah. So probably some quest item you get. So no big deal. I kind of hate Slayer items being. I kind of like the crystal chimes for the warped things. I never loved those, but don't need to get into that. Up next, anything else you have on the Aquanites?
No, they look great.
Cool. Up next, we have the Lava Strikeworms. These are definitely my favorite. So the NPC model, you guys have to see. It's literally like a worm's head coming out of the ground, but they hover all around, so they kind of look like they're skating. Like, it's not very realistic, but I just love the look of them. And I kind of wonder if these are going to be stackable for like barraging. I'm not sure. Like, one of these surely has to be a new barrage.
No, I think they mentioned that they're all single. They're all single combat.
Oh, okay.
Because I looked at that because I was curious about the imbued heart, but yeah.
They are 2x2s, so it wouldn't really work. Well, Bloodvelds you can barrage. But, ignore that. Lava Strikeworms require 60 sailing just to get to the Charred Island. This is one of the coolest islands I saw in the beta. I think everyone would agree. It had the huge Slayer dungeon on it. I believe. I could be misremembering, but I think this was the island with the big Slayer dungeon, with a ton of different Slayer mobs, like neck reels and shit. They will require 62 Slayer, so in between the Aquanites and the Griffins. And they do, of course, have superior variants. They drop dragon sheets for boat upgrades, and they drop strikeworm bones, which sit between the worm and dragon bones. So these are pretty legit. And they can also be broken down into bless bone shards, which I think are really slept on. I've been using a lot of shards. They're so chill. When you're actually using them, you're getting like 3 mil an hour in XP, and you don't have to worry about getting PK'd or anything like that. You can just relax. So these things look pretty sweet. Heartless, what do you think of the lava strikeworms?
Yeah, they look cool. I think anything to add new bones to the early game meta is good, because it used to just be go and kill green dragons if you're a normal, go and kill blue dragons if you're a hardcore, until you have enough for 70 prayer, and that sucks. So same with 99 prayer, dude. I killed 4,500 green dragons. I just did some hard clues and stuff while I was going for it, but like it's not exactly an exciting grind. I would have loved to do it. I got spooned at Hydra, which is the real reason I had to do that. But besides Hydra, you don't get a ton of bones in this game. You do get them from a few sources here and there, but you really kind of have to go out of your way to get them. But the blessed bone shards have like revolutionized the early prayer game. Revolutionized.
Yeah, I think prayer needs help, but only a little. I kind of like how it's this prestigious, hard to get thing, but it's certainly, when all your other like combat skills are at 20, 30, 40 mil, when you're finally getting 99 prayer, there's kind of an imbalance there. I went the very sweaty route. I got 95 rune crafting for Wrath runes, so I could always do the sacrifice spells for ashes. Whenever I got Abbey Demons, I was spellbook swap. The Chally spec. I was spellbook swapping for the offerings, because prayer is so hard to get, which is also probably my favorite Slayer method in the game. Highly recommend. But I love to see that they're addressing kind of this issue with prayer. I'm at 97.5, and it's one of my last skills. I think for most Iron Men, it's very much one of their last skills, because they don't want to just go kill dragons and collect the bones. It's rough, man. It's not balanced. So
yeah, unless you go dry to Hydra, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Or at least have to
Hydra
go out of your way.
only...
So I'm hoping that with these added, you'll be able to just kind of passively, because collecting worm bones is not a real thing. They're not worth picking up and going to the bank. They're not enough XP.
Nope.
So, and like same goes for baby dragon bones. Like just bone crusher them all. It's a lot better.
And dragon tasks, I skip, or I do the baby variants to blast through them.
Exactly.
You don't do
Nobody does dragon tasks. So unless you're specifically killing green dragons and like Wildy Slayer, which is a good task, you're not going to be collecting the bones. And even then, the only reason that's decent is because you can stack them with the diary.
Yeah. Speaking of dragons, up next we have the frost dragons. Anything else with the lava strikeworms?
No, I think you
covered
it. Yeah, they're cool. Good design space.
Yeah. Up next we have the frost dragons, which was kind of a surprise to me. I feel like they've mentioned it before, but these things are kind of cool. They're actually not a Slayer mob. They're level 1 Slayer, but level 87 sailing. So the highest sailing requirement. These are going to be, bots are going to love these, but the bots got to get 87 sailing. So it's probably going to take a while till they figure out a script to make that work. And hopefully now Jagex will ban them swiftly. But Frost Dragons will now drop Frost Dragon Bones, which give 100 XP when buried, puts them between Lava Dragon and Hydra Bones. So these bones are going to be freaking juicy. I don't know who's going to kill Frost Dragons. They're level 1 Slayer. Does that mean they won't be a Slayer task? Does something have to have a Slayer level to be a task?
No, I think they'll be taskable. You might have to unlock them.
Okay.
But they
look
great, especially for once again, Iron Men who are looking for prayer because these bones are going to be really strong.
Yeah, between Lava and Hydra, that might be the new meta. But they could also be like brutal dragons, which are just dead content. Like, is anyone killing brutals besides mains with a T-bow?
No, or bot. It's
don't think
mostly
so.
just bots with a T-bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but brutals
So-
are a little bit different. They don't really drop much. I don't know.
I think
We'll have
this
to
is
see what else they do.
interesting,
We'll have to
like-
see what else they drop. If it's just alkables, then I maybe don't get killed as much. But if there's some like cool sort of secondaries or something that you get, then yeah, it's got big potential. So why not stick them in there?
Yeah. I also think maybe this will replace like rune dragons for normal accounts to have like an AFK on the side while they play another account or something. Since, but you need 87 sailing, so
I mean,
don't know.
these bones are going to probably be worth. Well, Hydra bones are about 9k, and Dragon bones are usually sit around 2k, right? I think they're 2.5 right now. So these bones are probably going to be worth about 5k a piece. So you're talking about decent money here too as a main if you get this as a task. Yeah, I think they're going to be worth doing. And once again, more prayer options is better.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm also fighting sickness, so I had to blow my nose. But back into it, the sailing, that covers it for all these Slayer mobs. Was there anything else, any closing statements you want to put on the sailing mobs themselves?
Oh, let's get into the pet.
Okay, the pet. We've got 5 options here. Option A, and they're going to vote on this. They want to know what we like, but they did narrow it down to 5. Option A is a turtle. Option B is a seagull. Option C is a crab with a pirate hook. Option D is a parrot. Option E is like this hermit crab in a ship in a bottle. So just off the bat, I'll say, for me, it's got to be option C, the crab with the pirate hook. I love option E, which was the hermit crab inside of the ship in a bottle. And I also love the turtle. I don't want more bird pets. Sorry.
Oh
guys.
my god.
But
Hoyt, are you ready for a
I
hot take
know.
here?
You're gonna say parrot. You better
For
not.
me, all day, it's sailing, right? We're talking sailing. It's the seagull all day. If thematically, it has to be the seagull. It's synonymous with the ocean and boats. I live in a seaside town. You hear the seagulls all the time.
heron, bro.
Okay, I'm not done yet, Hoyt. Thematically, the seagull is the easy win. But having another white bird as a skilling pet is probably not going to happen. So I like the parrot. I think it's really cool. I love the colors. Yeah, another bird pet, but whatever. The next one for me would be the turtle. I think the crab and the hermit crab are dead content to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the parrot, we have the shoulder parrot, and we have the Quetzal or Quetzin pet, which is just a green variant with like a different tail. So
I don't know.
I don't know about the parrot, but
parrots are like
it's
so
thematic.
closely connected with like pirates, though. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, the turtle
Yeah.
would be fine as well. I think it would look a little stupid on land.
Yeah, imagine in the water though, the turtle following you would be sick. the
Except
water,
they've already
like its own little
said
wake.
that it's not going to be following you in water. It's going to be like a regular pet on the deck,
Aw.
which is why
Yeah.
I think a bird is more appropriate.
I just think the crab with the pirate hook is just, big D energy. I think it's sick. And I have my own Brimhaven pirate hook, so I want to match him. I would love to see option C with a hidden transmog from some difficult, like maybe, upper 90s sailing content where you can transmog it to the hermit crab in a ship in a bottle.
So
I think if you could put those two together, we'd be cooking.
besides our opinions, which are now out there, what do you think is actually going to win? What do you think will win the poll?
I think whenever we protest, we do the crab emote. I think the crab's gonna win.
Okay, with the crab with the pirate hook, I think it's a decent option. I think the hermit
Yeah.
crab looks really dumb in the bottle.
I think it's dumb. It's too small. I like my pets to be a little beefier.
Yeah, I think the crab with the hook, you're probably right, is going to win. I think a parrot will be a close second. I think the seagulls. I think the seagull and the hermit crab will be dead last, despite me loving the seagull. I just kind of think seagulls are cool. I know most people find them annoying, but they're very interesting birds. They live an extremely long time. Did you know that, Hoyt? They can live up.
Really?
Like
what, 30
well, there's like
years?
50 species of gulls, but like on average, they can live up to like 20 years. It's crazy. 15 to 20 years is not uncommon.
Yeah, I love messing with them on the beach.
Yeah, they're so annoying sometimes though. They nest on my roof, so you hear them all the time. I get used to them, so I don't really notice. But whenever guests come and stay, they're like, "Oh my god, I fucking hate the seagulls. They're just waking me up at 3 a.m." You can see the babies from our deck too. They're also just such massive birds. Crazy. But yeah, I think they're gonna come dead last. I think the hermit crab will be down there. It's gonna be between the parrot and the crab and the turtle. But yeah, the turtle's gonna look stupid on land, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll look cool on land.
And
it just doesn't have a lot of like
dude, if
it
was ocean,
I don't know.
Like it was falling in the ocean, the turtle would be the one.
Yeah, good deal. So let us know in the comments below what you're gonna be voting for, what you like, and that kind of wraps it up for sailing. We got a few other things, but really surprise blog, and I mean, Heartless, I think you mentioned it earlier, but this really seems like they're coming out with it this year. You think?
Yeah, they've been like every week they've been laying on thick. We haven't had a break to be able to talk about anything. I guess it makes sense because they're really, really ramping the game up to get ready for sailing, which is going to be a huge boom in players. So they really want to make sure that all the groundwork was laid before that. It makes a lot of sense.
The holidays are coming around the corner, and nothing gets done in offices during the holidays. So I think they're really trying to push right now so that they're not in a bad spot during all the holiday season. So they also mentioned this would be the last sailing vote and blog before, like, just in total. So that was kind of like opened my eyes. I kind of buried the lead. I should have led with that, but I think that right there is just a big green flag. Like, this is ready. We're pushing it out in a few months. So be prepared. Up next, skill total worlds. Heartless, would you read through this one? I'm going to blow my nose real quick.
Yeah, of course. I can just take the rest if you want. Yeah, so the skill total worlds, they're currently 1,500, 1,750, 2K, and 2.2K. But when sailing comes out, obviously, we're going to get 99 more levels. So they've suggested that we either change 2,200 worlds to 2,250s, or we keep them and then add a 2,350 world. So basically giving us two options. They're going to leave the rest the same. Which one would you pick?
Sorry, what's that? You asked me a question?
Yeah. I said between changing the 2,200s to 2,250s or adding new 2,350 worlds. What would you rather have?
So I think add 2,350, but nobody uses these worlds. I've heard they're fixed, though. Do you ever use them?
No, I think adding a couple 2,350 worlds would be the move as well.
I think it'd be cool, just out of curiosity. Like, what do you guys look like? Let's see. What are the sweaties doing? But historically, these worlds have been shite, and they've said on podcasts and interviews that they're like coded slightly different, or they know why, but they can't tell us. Otherwise, they'd be revealing something about the server infrastructure. But
they're notoriously bad, but they're I don't know. I never use them, so maybe it doesn't really matter. Like the end of the day, I don't really care. It only affects you when you're in the wilderness.
Yeah. And I don't do them in the wilderness because a lot of PKers start out in those worlds because they typically have higher risk.
True.
But either way, it's I think it would be cool. It's definitely the move.
Oh yeah, let me keep going for the next one. I'll take over. Yeah. So we got the bank space. I talked about this before, where they're just going to give us a clean 100 extra bank spaces. So it's plus 10 for each unlock you've paid for as well. So if you've paid the bankers for any extra space, you can get up to 190. new spaces. I'm desperate for bank spaces at all times. I have 1060 right now, and I can barely keep up with keeping stuff in my bank. It's always like close to full. Just with like new bosses coming out, keeping all the skilling outfits in there for like whatever activity you're doing. Just all the secondaries. I don't have potion storage either, and I don't plan on getting it, so that also is always going to keep my bank tight. The dupe tab, like, you just pick up stuff from PVM over the years. Like, it's very hard to keep up. And the next bank unlock for me is like 80 mil from the banker, and I don't really want to spend it. It's too much money. It's too much money. I spent the 40 mil, and even that was hard to stomach. 20 was perfectly fine. 40 was like, okay, well, I need a little bit more space. I'm going to buy it, but 80, I'm not going to do it. There's no way.
You kind of gotta get potion storage, my man. But it is shit.
I think with this coming out, I'm going to be fine. Once I max, I'm going to be able to like store a bunch of my, skilling items and capes. Yeah. I have a ton of capes in there. I'm just going to do a big clean out and try to get as much stuff into the house as possible. Another thing is having all of the extra clue scroll items that I haven't fully completed the stashes for. I have a lot of clue scroll items in there. A little bit of fashionscape. There's just not a lot of room for extra stuff, basically. You have to constantly keep it tight when you're in the end game.
Yeah, one of my goals has been to build every stash.
It's only a problem as an Iron Man. Like, as a main, you can trim down, just buy whatever you need, right?
Yeah, I do envy mains. I was talking to Shiver Shard, another loyal listener, last night. She was cleaning out her bank, and I was just talking about how I envy, like, mains can do this minimalist thing where you just have, like, 2 tabs, and, like, 160 slots. Iron Man, we're hoarders. We don't have that luxury. As soon as you get rid of something, you realize you needed it a month later.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, we have...
I'm right there with you.
Like, if I was a main, I wouldn't keep my stacks of Addy arrows, rune arrows, mithril arrows, javelins. I have like 90 mil of dragon javelin heads. Like, you just wouldn't keep those. They would be gone. That's probably more than some mains banks in dragon javelin heads. You just just need to get rid of it. The crazy stacks of things that I keep in the skilling and like PVM tab that I've just never touched, but I'm like, one day maybe that will be useful is very interesting. Like, all the gems that you keep, I mean, you kind of have to keep those, but I don't know, everything just stacks up over time.
Yeah.
And you just, I don't know, I feel bad about getting rid of it.
Yeah. No, it's scary. I remember Mr. Cosmonaut convinced me to get rid of my Numulite very early game, and I foolishly listened.
Never listen to any advice he gives you. That's bad news. The man will lead you down dark paths if you listen to his advice. When he's coming from a main,
he would.
Never
he
trust
would say
him.
The same thing.
Never trust him. Don't let a main give an Iron Man advice.
I've told him this story, and he said, "Oh, Hoyt, you should have never listened to me if I told you that." I was like, "All right, fair enough."
It's 100% true.
Right after that, there's like 2 unlocks I needed for like 20,000 Numulite each. Or one of them is like the volcanic mine guy for permanent entrance, and then doing the chest for the notes section on the collection log. I needed them, and there's a few other uses I can't think of immediately, but that was just a funny one I remember. Because I'm like, damn it, I just dropped these.
It's crazy.
2 months ago.
And you'll just end up...
annoying to get.
You'll end up with stacks of stuff on an iron like flax, dynamite, snakeskin, random bones. And you just gotta keep them because one day they may become useful.
Uncharged
Like,
orbs.
for example, when the new twin bosses came out, with the Royal Titans, you needed big bones to be able to teleport and refill the necklace. And I was like, I don't know, for some reason I had 2,000 big bones in my bank. I don't know where they came from.
Korasks.
Probably Korasks. But I haven't done Korask in like 6 years, so I must have just left them in my bank, and they became useful.
Yep.
So it's a weird
most people got rid of this.
It's a weird hoarder mentality, but I tend to just try to keep on to most things, especially if the stack is pretty big. You may as well just hang on to it.
Yeah, the big bones are funny because a lot of Iron Men are like, I'm never going to use big bones, which is justified. If you had a stack of normal bones in your bank, you'd drop that shit. You're like, they're like 5 XP each, I'm never going to use these. and then they released this amulet where you needed them.
Yeah.
Or the Bone Crusher, it's such a big thing.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we're gonna need
Thanks,
maybe we're
Space.
gonna need
Good to
dynamite to
see.
drop into the ocean to, like, I don't know, blow open some rift to fight a
You
boss.
might.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know.
They're listening.
They're always listening.
They're listening.
Okay, so I forgot that it's my turn to host in this section. So next to the Medallion of the Deep, so it's going to be an untradeable necklace that lets you do specialized diving. You can just explore the water without the need for additional gear, so you're not going to need the helmet or the backpack. So they said it's not going to work in current places where there's a strict oxygen limit, like the seaweed location.
This is weird to me.
Me too. I think they should have just let it go anywhere. But basically, it's a necklace that's going to let you roam around underwater, free of issues. I'm assuming it's going to be extremely useful during sailing. So
it's got to be the I've never done the underwater net fishing, but I have done the thieving and agility, the mermaid tiers, where you need the puffer fish. That's got to be the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's for that. It's
where
that multi-skill, right?
breathing matters.
Multi-skill. There's also a quest where you need the diving apparatus.
Yeah. I get it because it would probably become super busted. I don't know. You don't want to see XP rates go from 200 to 350 or 400 for those skills.
Yeah, so. Fair enough.
Whatever.
So yeah, it's going to be useful though item. In sailing for sure. They kind of kept us in the dark on this one, but I'm sure the amulet will be coveted. Next is the Max Cape. So they're finally giving us some clarity. We all knew when the update hits, everyone who has a Max Cape will retain their Max Cape, but they won't be able to wear it anymore until you achieve 99 sailing to unlock the Max Cape again. Though they have updated it in that if you have an Infernal Max Cape or an MA2 Max Cape, you can dismantle it and it will give you back your Infernal Cape and the Max Cape. Whereas if you do it right now, it'll just destroy whatever is attached to the Max Cape. So in that case, your Infernal Cape. And a lot of people, they just one and done the Inferno because you don't need to do it more than once. You just get the upgrade and you're done. So there's a lot of worried people out there like, do I have to go get another Infernal Cape or a Max Sailing? No, you're just going to be able to dismantle. I think this was the right call. Yeah. In fact, I think you should be able to just do it all the time anyway. I don't see why it gets destroyed.
Yeah, that's stupid. I always wonder why I see max people without the max Infernal Cape, just the Infernal Cape. I also wonder if Trover Parchment, like you can't Trover your Infernal Max Cape.
Can't. You can.
You can? Okay.
I think so.
I always wonder like why I see that. Some people just prefer the look too. They don't like the Infernal Max, or I don't know. They don't want to let people know that they're a skiller. But
yeah, I don't know. I think the Infernal Max looks cool, but I think the regular one looks good as well. Like almost better sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little more slim. Yeah, this is cool, and they're gonna make it work same as Quest Capes. So when you log in, it's in your inventory if you have it equipped. Or I don't know what happens if your inventory is full, but regardless, they're gonna take it off your player. So nothing cheeky like that. Trying to log out the night before with your cape.
I hope I get to have a Max Cape before sailing comes out. We'll see. We're getting there.
Me too.
Next is
I've been smithing.
Are you going for it? You think you're gonna make it?
I'm not going for it, but I'm also not going for it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm like chipping away at it, so we'll see.
Good.
If it's December, I could.
Next is the sailing stress test. So it was mostly successful. They had everyone jump in. They had 2,000 people make it onto the world, and they asked them to run laps around the Pandemonium, which was like the main island, and they just ripped laps, 2,000 people in their boats, to test how the servers would perform, and everything mostly went okay. They were quite positive about the tests and happy with the results, so I'm glad they got a maxed player count on the world. Now just to see how the servers hold up. It's gonna be interesting. I'm sure we're gonna have some day one drama, but it's nice to see that they're doing the stress tests. Anything you wanted to add about this, Hoyt? Did you participate?
No, I didn't participate. I did the earlier sailing betas, but not the stress test. I just looked it up. There are 316 OSRS worlds, so hopefully they can do this across 316 worlds, not just one. Really good to see. I mean, I'm sure all of us will probably try to take work off the day of release or something, but historically, the first 12 hours, guys, don't expect anything. I mean, I came from World of Warcraft where the first day was always screwed. Like you never took off the first day of work because you wanted to do the second day. Because the first day is just people in the lobby for 6 hours complaining because it's down. So hopefully they don't have that. But they've had some trouble with leagues. Like last leagues was delayed a couple hours. I remember that. So maybe an hour 45, not so bad. But
Fingers
kudos to them.
crossed.
Seems like they're ready. Yeah.
Any?
I think they're more ready than
I think so.
For sailing.
Any
so
last thoughts on this last Slayer and sailing vlog?
Well, I think my thoughts of sailing in general and how ready they are have improved, which was their goal. Would you agree, or were you kind of unchanged?
Yeah, I mean, like another blog, I'm happy. I think they're even more ready than we think. I'm a sailing optimist, you know this. I'm high on the skill. I think it's going to be a giant success for the game, and I hope it is. And I think they're taking it extremely seriously because this is going to be their biggest boom of players in a very, very long time. And yeah, they're going to take full advantage. I think it's going to be peak content. I hope the servers can handle it. And yeah, I honestly just can't wait for the skill to come out. It looks like very fleshed out already. And, there's so much room for growth and expansion as well.
I do worry, it seems like there's so much, but there's also so little to sailing. There's all these cross-sailing skills. I do feel like, at the end of the day, it's going to be a RuneScape skill. And when you look at something like Hunter, there's really only, let's say 6 different things you do till 99. Well, now they have Hunter Rumors, that's a bad example, but maybe, I don't know, pick any skill, and you do activity A for levels 1 to 30, activity B for 30 to 50, and by the time you get up to 99, you're only doing 6 different things. I think sailing will be that way.
Yeah,
it's cool to have these cross skills.
I agree with you.
Some people might feel like it's quite empty, because if you look at thieving's you hit 54 or whatever, and then you blackjack till this level. There's not much there. So they're going to do their best, but it's going to be a RuneScape skill. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be monotonous at times, probably for many hours. But there's going to be some highs, lows. When you reach that next activity will be the most fun. But when you're at the tail end, you're freaking done with it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in general. You might just be doing the same activities to get the XP, but the skill is far more integrated than any of the other skills in the game already. We had that blog where it basically integrated every single skilling or every single skill into sailing. And now we just got Slayer, the best skill in the game, by the way, added into sailing as well. So the skill, well, maybe training it, I don't know how it's going to be, but it's going to be an integral piece of the game moving forward.
Yeah. Very excited. I think everyone just make sure your expectations are in check. If it's too fast, you'll complain. If it's too slow, you'll complain. So hopefully they get that Goldilocks right in the middle.
Perfect.
Kudos to Jagex.
I guess we should head to the chest room.
Yeah, we have a very special guest right after this short non-commercial break. We'll see you over there. Hello and welcome back to the chest room. Again, this is Hoyt. I'm joined by Heartless, and this is my week for the chest room. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm going to tap in a great friend of the pod. He's done over 4,000 raids in Old School RuneScape. He's got a maxed account, and you may have seen him in the Theater of Blood with UIM Loki. Welcome, 40IQ. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Doing well. How about you?
Good. Welcome. And today we're going to be talking about RuneScape 3 League's Catalyst. Now, again, I want to preface 40 is an Old School RuneScape, a veteran, an expert. If you name it, he's done it. Wait, do you have Radiant Oathplate yet?
I do not. Since I maxed, I've kind of fallen off and gotten washed. I don't want to say lazy, but lazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if you wanted to get it, you get it very quick. So, nonetheless, you have a little bit of experience with RS3 before the leagues, right? Do you want to start out with how much you played before this?
Yeah, sure. So, after I maxed, I was kind of wandering aimlessly on my main, and so I started an Iron Man, and then I decided, hey, I've heard good things about RS3 Iron Man, so I'll give that a shot. And so I started that around beginning of 2024, played for 2 or 3 months, and I was having a good time, but eventually just the huge scale of the game got to me, and I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. So took a pause, and then when the leagues came around, I thought I'd give it a shot and see what it was all about.
So before leagues, what was the high point of RuneScape 3? Was there anything you were kind of pleasantly surprised by or impressed by that you didn't think you would like?
Oh yeah, the number one thing about RS3 is the mining and smithing rework. I can't say enough about how good that is. Like,
really? Okay.
What do they?
I'll give a quick.
What do they do to it? I'm curious.
So, the first thing is ores never deplete. The rocks never do. So, the way it works is you have 2 bars over your head. One is like a progress bar towards mining an actual ore, and then the other one is like an energy bar. And so you can make any rock into a OSRS shooting star if you want, but at the same time, if you want to sweat it out and click every once in a while, clicking on the rock resets your stam, so you get better XP rates that way.
Nice. I like that you can. So how long can you AFK one rock, do you think? Like a minute? 5 minutes?
No, it's 15 minutes until the logout timer gets you.
Okay. Holy crap. Just one rock, like an iron rock.
Yep. Iron rock all the way up to whatever the tier 90 rock is.
That's crazy. Above. That's crazy. Do you think that would translate to old school?
I think it would do pretty well in old school. The smithing rework, not so well.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, so that one, first you smelt the bars. That's not any different. But once you have the bars, you put them into like a preheating pod. I don't know what it's actually called. But what it does is it like forms the metal into whatever you're going to smith. And then you have a progress bar and like a heat bar, and the more you hit the metal, the slower the progress bar goes. And if the heat bar gets to 0, you have to take it back to the preheating pod and get it back up. But usually they're right next to the anvil, so it's not too bad.
A mini Giant's Foundry kind of.
Kind of, yeah. You just don't really have to pay attention. Like you could full AFK it if you want.
Okay.
That seems support
like not much AFK. Of a rework, to be fair.
I'll always support AFK versus like active when there's always a trade-off, but if it becomes too unbalanced where you should just AFK it, then there's a problem. But I like kind of this trade-off of if you're actively doing it and you want to click, within a small few tick window, you get a big increase in XP. I think that's good.
40, have they sorry, Hoyt, I didn't mean to cut you off. 40, did they rework like the rewards, like leveling rewards for smithing, or is it still like you get to 99 and you're making rune plate legs?
Yeah, they completely did it. So every 10 levels you unlock a new metal, and once you unlock the metal, you can craft everything with it.
Oh, cool. I kind of like that.
And there's like 3 tiers of armor now. There's like 3 tiers of bronze and iron, right?
Yeah, so once you make the armor, you can bring it back to the little preheating thing, and you have the option to use more bars to upgrade it, and I think it gives you better stats and stuff.
Interesting.
But a funny story I heard about the when they first did the rework is they didn't change the alch values, so everyone was making rune plate bodies at level 50 and got a lot of money.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Small oversight.
Abuse early and often, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel like that would do well in old school. Like we could lower the tier requirements to make rune and then give you like a rune plus plate body that gives you slightly better defense. Be kind of cool for free to play.
It's hard in old school. They need to do it, but it's so delicate, like, and it's been here so long, it's obviously there's a reason they haven't. so I don't have an answer, but it's nice to see the RuneScape 3 one's well received. I wasn't sure, but I have pretty much only heard good things. So shall we get into RS3 League's Catalyst? It started September 15th, runs through November 10th, which is really long. I guess that's normal old school time, but a couple months, 2 months. And like I said earlier in the cast, they did double their player count from 29k peak to 49k peak, and they've fallen off slightly, maybe 49 to 48 to 46, but it's still a lot of people are playing, and 40 is one of them. So 40, I'll let you kind of take it from here, and we'll hop in. But 40 was nice enough to take some notes of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the neutral. So yeah, what do you think of Catalyst?
Yeah, so I'll start with the good. First is they have an in-game task list similar to Old School, except since there's so many interfaces in RS3, you can just pin it on so you always see it. And what's really great about it is it moves or it tracks the location you're at and shows tasks that are nearby. So it's like, oh, mine the Iron Rock in Lumbridge Swamp. And you're like, oh, I'm in Lumbridge Swamp. I'll go over and mine that real quick. Another thing is a lot of the relics are pretty similar to Old School, so made deciding a little bit easier. I was also doing a bit of research on YouTube, just trying to see what the normies were doing, so I was probably just going to follow that route. What else? I'd say in tier 6, I think, there's Banker's Note, and I don't think a single person has taken it just because
Really?
There's banks and teleports everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty insane how many banks there are. And on the teleports, there's lodestones with no cooldown, so it's essentially a home telly where you can go to any major city in the game.
But the Banker's Note doesn't help in like PVM like it did in the Old School League?
No, not really. Well, I could see it doing well with like unnoting food and stuff, but a lot of the combat passives have, or at least the melee one, which is really popular, has a healing factor to it. So it's
Okay.
And there's also Soul Split in RS3.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about that. I guess in Old School, like you're more reliant on food to heal you.
Yeah, and
what
with
is,
the banks and
I was just
gonna
saying,
say,
what's
with the-
Soul Split again for people who didn't play?
yeah, so it's an overhead prayer, so you can't use protection prayers at the same time, but it heals you a portion of the damage that you do.
Absolutely broken.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've done Nex and you get to that final phase where she keeps healing, that's Soul Split.
Yeah, the prayer icon, like the 2 arrows, right?
Yeah.
I should have asked this earlier, but what's your experience with the Old School leagues? You're a leagues enjoyer, right? You have any Dragon Cups or?
I don't have Dragon Cups. I don't really feel like grinding that hard, but I do enjoy playing Old School leagues. The first one I really took seriously was Trailblazer Reloaded, so Leagues 3 back in, I don't remember what year, but that one, I had a good time with that, and then played the most recent one last year, and really loved that too.
Nice. You mentioned some of these relics and League's Catalyst. Are there any good ones you think might translate to Old School? Or you mentioned Banker's Note from Old School to the new one that didn't translate well. Are there any other notable like relics you thought were pretty interesting or cool?
I'm gonna have to pull it up and look real quick.
I'll put you on the spot here a little bit.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's see.
I know the first one everyone took the mining one, right?
Yeah, the mining one, just because of how you can completely AFK on rocks now. It's so overpowered. If you're going AFK to go grab something, you can just click on a rock and walk away and then come back and you're still mining.
Yeah. Nice.
Honestly, I think most of the relics are already from Old School, or they're RS3 specific. So like they have a combat relic for necromancy, but that there's no parallel really in Old School.
Is this their first league?
Yes, it is.
So
and they're definitely going through some growing pains.
Do you think they did a pretty hard port from the RuneScape, the Old School league?
I think they did an okay job, but yeah, they took some of the best relics we've had and put them in.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They copied the homework, but they made it look a little different.
Yeah.
I kind of derailed you, so I want to let you go back to your list. We were going through Banker's Note, kind of dead content, because banks and tellies are everywhere. Mining and smithing we kind of went through.
Yeah, and then just the amount of AFK options there are is incredible. But at the same time, the way I play RuneScape, I don't really like AFKing. I want to be doing something. So, but I know some people love that. And when I say AFK, I mean like shooting stars, redwoods, gemstone crab, AFK.
Oh wow, like proper.
Yeah.
Leave the keyboard, leave the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then one thing, this is from main game in RS3 that I think would translate really well to old school is the tool belt, because who likes having to grab a spade before you do every farm run? Like every barbarian training where you're fisting the ground to put a seed in there. Like everyone loves those, so why not just make it part of the game so you don't have to, go through all the barbarian training, any other obstacles.
Yeah, I feel like belt slot, you could add it to the, to the inventory. Belt slot would be, it has some, some...
Raids 4 mega rare?
No, but like, I mean, there's some other guys. I'm playing a lot of Valheim recently, and the belt slot is like a real thing, and it's quite a coveted place. So you have one that like lets you increase your, weight capacity so you can carry more shit, which is like not very relevant to RuneScape, but you could have things in there that like reduce your weight, or I don't know. You could just have a bunch of things in the belt slot that help with the game in general. Even have just like small boosts to strength, or like invisible boost to agility. Who knows? You could just have anything, but it would be an interesting design space, I think. One that we haven't touched on.
I think it's also just an eyesore to collect like 27 resources with one tool in your inventory. I know some of them you can wield, but when you can't, it would just be nice to just have a full inventory of a resource. And I think Barbarian training was a good point of clearly nobody has ever said Barbarian training should be taken out. So clearly we don't really care about having a tool with this. So I think the tool belt, maybe in 2014, if you pulled it, people would freak out. I think it would pass in flying colors now, but I can see why they're hesitant, because, it's kind of an old school thing. Make sure you're prepared for your run with, your rake, otherwise you're going to be screwed. Right.
Yeah, and I could definitely see it being, there's a middle ground between having absolutely everything in there, or maybe there's like a farming tool belt, and then there's a mining tool belt, or so on and so forth.
That's a good point. That's a good medium. Because, I do like having to think about your setup. That's part of what makes RuneScape fun. It's very annoying, bank standing and, like, trying to look up, the wiki and the Discord, gear Discords, and what you need. But it is part of the strategy of being prepared and thinking. So maybe skill-specific tool belts would be even better. So I support.
Yeah. And then I'll get back to my list real quick. The JMods have been doing a really great job of just keeping track with community feedback, and I think on day 2 they made a change and cut the relic price or the relic unlock tiers by like 40%, just because they wanted people to be progressing faster.
Yeah, I heard that was a big problem. So as a nice quick fix and very heavy-handed, 40% is huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Kudos.
Then the last thing I'll say is the new skills are pretty fun to train, or the ones that aren't in old school. So they've got summoning, divination, dungeoneering, invention, necromancy, and archaeology. Haven't unlocked invention yet, but I've heard really good things about that. And then my favorite out of all those is probably archaeology.
And explain archaeology, and do you think it would be good in old school?
I think it would be good, but so the way it works is you go to these dig sites and you uncover these ancient artifacts and some supplies that help you go back to a crafting table, and you restore the artifacts. And then once you turn them in, There's also something called mysteries, which I'm not 100% sure how to explain, but what you unlock with Archaeology is essentially nerfed League relics, and they're called relics too. So the first one you unlock from doing the tutorial permanently boosts your HP by 5. So or I think it's 500 because their HP is scaled, but yeah, you just get 5 extra HP.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah, so kind of like auras or like permanent power ups.
So maybe, but with
kind of.
like different rewards. It would translate a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, they have one, I think, later on that's essentially you get the Darok effect with everything.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe not that strong,
Yeah.
but there is, I think, room for something like that in Old School.
Yeah, we have that with like, I mean, this is a bad example, but diaries, like, you know, we have the bolt proc chance is increased by 5 or 10% or something. So I think if they made them really minor, it'd be really cool. But obviously, if you know the 99 one is like every 5-tick weapons, no 4-tick, it would just be stupid. But they're smart enough; they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of shamanism with the auras and stuff. But shamanism was more focused on upgrading equipment. It sounds like this doesn't really. It's not equipment specific, right?
It's like character
Right.
specific.
Yeah. It's just you can have 3 on your character at any time, and so it's just.
I was picturing a big checklist. Having to pick 3 of those, cool. And I'm sure there's a meta where if you don't use these 3, you're throwing. But I think it's cool to have, just a few. It's nice.
Yeah. So that was my list of good things, and I'll get into the bad stuff that I'm not really a fan of. First thing I'll say is just the gameplay feels janky. When you open up the bank, it moves your inventory to be right next to the bank, so you can't just hover over your whatever you're going to deposit and then click on it immediately. So I don't like that. Another thing, when you're depositing items into the bank, it moves your tab to wherever that item went. So if you're like on your herb tab and your potions are on a different tab, you're doing herb lore, you deposit the potions, it switches you over, so you can't go back to your withdrawing the herbs immediately, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed, I just randomly stop running for some reason. Like I click on something in my inventory, I stop running. Like, I don't like that.
Old School's got that problem sometimes. Like when you load in a new chunk while you're fletching or something, you just stop. It's like, what happened?
Oh, really? I haven't noticed that in Old School, but
there's weird specific things, but I don't know. I've definitely noticed it. I can't think of exact examples. I think that's one though. When you load a new chunk that was all black, if you're doing an action, the action stops or something like that.
Yeah. And then next thing on my list is I've got no idea about progression or how to. I mean, I know how to get to the next tier, but like, it's kind of hard to explain. But just it's such a vast game that I'm a little bit lost with just what I should be doing. Sometimes I'll be doing an activity and some random item pops in my inventory. I open up the wiki because I want to know what it is, and all the words on the wiki are made up. Like I've got no idea what this item is applied to.
You're basically the target audience for this, right? Because you're like an Old School player.
Yeah,
but you're
Andy's
still
played a little before.
But it's still a new player experience in a way because you don't know a lot of the content. So that's tough to hear that it's kind of just overwhelming, right, at times. But I'm sure Old School is similar in leagues to people when they're trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, and leagues I think does make it easier because you have a task list, so you say, okay, I want to do this task, and then you can. It's a lot more targeted of a goal you can set for yourself. So that's good.
Yeah, I think Old School players, like I remember my first league, I quit day 1 because I was so overwhelmed because I was still a new player that I had never played Iron Man. Every single little decision turned into this rabbit hole of wiki that it was a 20-minute derailment. Like you said, when you get an item you don't know about. But I think RuneScape 3, I've always heard it was just much worse because it's such a bigger game. Like, it's just a wider game. And there's so many new areas, and every area has its own little currency and things. So, while I don't have experience, I can totally see how you get something random. They're like, oh, this was released in the 2013 expansion to the desert, and you need X, Y, and Z in order to use it. And you click on each one of those, and now it's a whole new rabbit hole. So, yeah, that's always been a turnoff for RuneScape 3, and it's a very hard problem to fix. A lot of MMOs have that problem.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just a problem that comes with the game being almost 25 years old.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, next on the list is the amount of quests, and there's no quest helper, so you're looking at the wiki, doing your quests, and not that many were auto-completed, so what was really frustrating for me was when I unlocked my teleport relic, I clicked on it to see what I had available. There were maybe like 6 out of 20 or 30 that I could use, just because all of them were quest locked, and I was like, wow, relic regret.
Oh,
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the quests in RS3 are very essential for unlocking things, right? So, like, you were talking
they
about
are in Old School as well,
yeah.
but we just have quest helper.
Yeah, I heard No Monkey said only the elf quest line was auto-completed. Everything else, you just kind of SOL. You gotta do.
Yeah, I watched No Monkey's video a couple hours ago, and he made a lot of the same points that I was kind of thinking, at least in the first half of the video, and then he kind of goes off on a rant, but...
as he tends to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, very good.
What about
the neutral?
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, so the neutral is... I don't know how I feel about this, but they didn't do region locking, which is good on the side that it's... There's going to be a lot of new players with this league, and they want everyone to experience everything. But the way No Monkey said it, and I think that he made a really good point, is when you're stuck to a certain number of regions, those regions have more tasks and more points you can do that are more concentrated in that area. I don't know that I said that well, but...
Yeah, so you don't have to run around everywhere doing tasks. You're like, you can move from task to task in a small space and not get overwhelmed. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And like, if let's say you unlock the Fremenic area, you do the Lunar Diplomacy quest line, as opposed to Lunar Diplomacy quest line gets you 2 tasks in RS3 as opposed to 10 or 15 in Old School. So everything's just a lot more spread out.
Easier to burn out too that way. So.
Yeah, surely.
Less dopamine.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and then the last thing is... Playing without RuneLight makes you realize, holy shit, RuneLight is amazing. So the quest helper, tile markers, NPC indicators, bank tags.
Yeah, we're spoiled, aren't we?
Well, yeah. So they do have bank layouts in RS3, so you can set up to like 10 presets, and so you just click on 10? It, it'll fill your inventory, your equipment, and all that.
If I had to reduce down to 10 bank layouts, we'd be in trouble.
You just put your 10.
There might be more.
You just put your 10 most common ones. I could see us getting on an Old School one day, honestly.
Yeah, I think they've talked about.
I don't think we're like incredibly far off that.
No,
yeah, no, I think
in the next few years.
I think Jagex has talked about it. It's just an engine limitation.
Yeah, what if you got a quest from a banker? No, it's the reward. Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so 40. After taking all of this in account, are you still going to be playing RS3 leagues, and would you recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried out RS3?
Yeah, I think I'm still going to play for another week or two, and yeah, I think if anyone's curious about it, they're just thinking about it, at least give it a shot, log in for an hour or two, see how it feels. I did find a day one guide that I posted in the Discord for anyone that wants every YouTuber makes those for every league, so that one was
the RS guy, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, he made a whole website for it.
That's crazy. It was so well done. That dude's a champ. He's carrying that community on his back. He's the guy you always see get golden gnomes. Canadian, eh? Speaking of Canadians, what do you think, Heartless?
Yeah, I'm glad 40 came to talk about it because I don't know anything about RS3 except the memes.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool they're doing the league. I feel like more RS3 players means OSRS probably has a better, healthier community too. So nice to see both games doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if they do another league in the future, it'll be a lot more polished because the progression is a bit slower than old school. But I think they'll take their lessons learned, and like based on the JMod's feedback on the first week of they're looking at auto completing some quests. So
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It's probably the same with our first league, right? A lot of things they improved on,
Yeah.
especially quest.
I listening to No Monkey, the first big complaint was the speed, which they addressed on day 2, but I've heard it's still bad. And in comparison, like said, solo mission, rank 1 in some leagues, Super Giga Gamer, is on the final relic tier by like day 1 or 2. Again, bad example, but just multiply that by 2, 3, 4 for any other player. And in RS3, some of the top players were like just barely on like their second or third relic. I think pretty much just the second by the end of day 1 or 2. So pretty brutal compared to like 7 relics. So it is probably hard for new players. You're overwhelmed, so you're already going to be much slower than an experienced player. And then if you're unlocking stuff too slow, but it's a marathon. As when I got my Dragon Cup, it was purely because of a marathon. Like there's people who burn out within 2 weeks and have fun, but I was just dedicated for 8 weeks and I chipped away and chipped away. So sure RS3 leagues will be the same. I did want to ask 40, what are the rewards for this? Are there, I assume, just cosmetics?
Yeah, they have some cosmetics. I think it's for their skilling, like a pickaxe cosmetic. And if I had to guess, it would probably be the excavator design, because that one looks pretty cool. It's got like a ruby on the, I don't know, the metal part of the pickaxe.
Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, it's some cosmetics. They're tradable. Hopefully I'll be able to sell it and buy a bond or whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and talking. Nice to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
I do want to stretch this out just a little more.
Of course you do. He
wanted to
wakes
ask-
me up at 7:30 and it keeps me here locked in the chair for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to duct tape you. So I think a lot of the criticism or confusion or the hesitancy from OSRS to RS3 has got to be the combat. I know there's a lot of, misinterpretations and bad feelings from EOC way back in 2009 or 11. I think EOC was 11 technically. So 40, I understand you told me off cast that, the combat's just okay, but could you kind of explain why it's not just EOC bad and it's all crazy terrible? I've heard it's actually gotten to a pretty good point. You can kind of get in a flow now.
Yeah, I mean, the combat, like I said, it feels just okay. Like I don't notice that it's really bad, but it's just different than old school. So the way I have it set up is called Revolution, where you have your ability bars and you just look on the wiki and say, or it shows you which abilities to put there and what order, and then it automatically procs them as your off cooldown and such.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fun. And then if you're really not sure or you just want to be lazy, go to Necromancy. And because the big thing in RS3 combat is that it's really style specific to like the monster's weaknesses. And Necromancy, I think, ignores all of them. So if you just want to run around and use the same gear everywhere, like I'm doing, just take Necromancy.
Is this your first time with Necromancy, or did you play it on your previous account?
In 24, I think it had just come out like a couple months before. So I had tried it out, and pretty much the same feedback there, where it's a good all-around thing to use.
Yeah, I've heard with Necromancy you can just like buy your gear from like Zaf too. Like all your gear. I don't know if that's true, but
I don't
heard
think
the
it's that,
gear's
but
easier.
they have like a underworld city where you go to. That's where you do the tutorial, and then you can buy gear and supplies there.
Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, is there anything else you want to add on, or shall we let Heartless take a nap?
I think that about covers it. I'll let Heartless go.
Yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming on, 40. It's been enlightening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Big thank you to Mr. 40 IQ for joining us, and thank you to all of our listeners. Let us know in the comments if there's any topics you want us to cover, if you're playing RS3 leagues, if it's terrible or if it's great. And we will see you around on the next one.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.